Welcome back, guys. The big question is, Chris, where's the content been? It's been over a month. Well, stick around and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's been going on and how it relates to what ZERT means as a survivalist and a prepared individual community. Hey guys, so it's right before the 4th of July, and I looked back on the ZERT YouTube channel, and there hasn't been a video up since May. Now, as a content creator and a channel that puts out this kind of content, shooting content, informative content, it's not good to go dark for so long. But let me tell you what's been going on and tell you how it kind of relates to a podcast that we did a while back. So on May 19th, my father went in for a full nephrectomy, which is a kidney removal. He is 80 years old and he had a growth on his kidney. Now, my father, unfortunately, is not a stranger when it comes to having medical issues. We've been dealing with stuff with him now since 2011 when he had a brain aneurysm that ruptured. But he's had prostate cancer, beat that. He had a brain aneurysm rupture, he beat that. He's living with Parkinson's, and now we had another mass on his kidney. So we went in, we decided to do the surgery, and all was well. He came home a couple of days later, and then within 2 weeks, it was a Saturday, it was the 31st of May, and we had to rush him back to the hospital because he was shaking uncontrollably, had a 104-degree temperature. The first hospital determined that there was an abscess and an infection at the surgical site, so they transferred him back to the hospital where he had the surgery. He was there. We thought they were just treating an infection. I didn't really think much of it because when he left, he was getting better at the hospital. When I got there the next day, I did not go see him on Sunday. I went on Monday. It was clear that something was really still going on. He was not really verbal. He was very confused. It didn't look good. So fast forward a couple of days, he had a GI bleed and they took him down for a colonoscopy. He got done with that and everything seemed better. Long story short, it is now 32 days and my father is still in the hospital. He left, went to a nursing home to start rehab, his antibiotics ended, and he declined again, and he ended up back in the hospital. They have since found the source of the infection, which relates back to his aneurysm, and they put a shunt in, and that was the source of the infection. They removed it, they have a temporary drain in, he's moving forward. Now, so that's where I've been. I've been spending my days in and out of the hospital and nursing homes while my father is getting better. Now, you're probably sitting here watching this and wondering, well, how does this relate to a survivalist and a prepared individual? And what do you mean a podcast you did? All right, so folks, a while back, I did a podcast with Mr. X, Paul Taylor, and we talked about the importance of preparing for the lack of better terms, the afterlife. Now, one of the things that I've been experiencing over the last month is being the point of contact and the primary for his care. Now you'll ask, well, why are you not his wife or my mother? Well, my mother has been diagnosed with dementia, and this situation is rapidly progressing that disease. So I've got two that I'm dealing with, and I have to be the point of contact. Now, they call me for consent for all of these surgeries and procedures my father has to do. So the first thing that we should consider when we are still able to is having a living will. And what that does is obviously takes the burden off of the family members and leaves it to the doctors. And some of you may agree with that, some of you may not. But where I'm going with this is preparing for our departure is just as important as preparing for our lives. And you do that for your family members and for the people around you. Now, me and my sister kind of got late to the game with this, or late to the party with this, and I'm trying to play catch up, right? So we need to ensure that we know where their finances are, where their paperwork is, and prepare for the unfortunate incident where one of them is gone. You know, when there's two people that are undefeated in this world, and it's Father Time and it's Lady Death. And we can't outrun those, we can't escape those. It's going to happen to all of us. And when I look at situations like my mother and my father are in, it makes it even more important for me as a prepared individual to ensure that all of my final preparations are in order. Now, I know this is a macabre video, but I think it's an important video because it's part of our lives. And whatever happens with your future, and whether you have the greatest insurance in the world, whether you are going to receive Social Security or some kind of, assistance from your state, should you not have the best insurance or whatever, you need to ensure that all of that stuff is in line for the unfortunate but realistic situation where you are no longer here. So that is something that I am still trying to figure out every single day. And I wanted to put this video together because I think it's important. I think whether your parents are still around or whether you are the parents and you're watching this video, make sure you have these conversations with your children, or make sure you have these conversations with your parents. If you are in that 40 to 50-year-old range, our parents are getting older, and it's important to ensure that they get what they need during their final time. And, my father is going to come out of this, and he is going to probably go to a nursing home, and then he will hopefully get strong enough where he can come back home, and his life will probably be different for his remaining years because of whatever this situation has left him with. Now, we don't know what that looks like yet, but it's going to likely mean that he needs a little bit more help at home. Being that I'm around and my sister is around, we will likely take care of that until it becomes too much, and then you have to do the next part, which is get them into a home. Short of them obviously passing in their sleep, which God forbid, or God willing, that's how I go. I just want to go to sleep one night and that's it, right? There's no suffering. That's the one thing that I wanted to make sure is my father hasn't been suffering this entire time. You never know if you're making the right decision, but you have to do what's best for them, and you have to trust the medical professionals that are giving you the information. But I will say this, over the last month, if you followed any of my personal social media pages, I've made updates, and I have not been happy with the doctors, but I'm also not shy around the doctors. Ask the questions, ask the hard questions, continue to push them until they give you the answers. Ask the nurses, because they may give you a different answer than the doctors do, but always ask and always push. Everybody's been telling me I've been a great advocate for my father. I tell you to be a great advocate for your parents, and make sure that if you're the parents listening to this, make sure your kids are the great advocates for you when the time comes. So, as I wrap up this video, I just want to put that information out there to you guys, right? Make sure you are talking to your parents, talking to your children, ensure that they have the information that they need to make sure that you are comfortable when it comes time. Being prepared is not just while you're living, it's also making sure that the people around you are prepared for your end. So, I know that sounds really macabre, but guys, it's part of life. So, until next time, you stay safe, stay prepared. ZP002 out.